All right, so I am gonna remove the engine in the Supra. Right now all I'm doing is labeling all the connections and all that stuff. And as you saw in the other video, I have been measuring from the front of the crank and the rear, and I feel like I should pull it out and take the pans off and take a look at the thrust bearings, just to be on the safe side, because I don't want to put the trans back in, the new clutch in, and it does the same thing. It ends up being the thrust bearings and stuff and the crank wonking, because then, you know what I mean, I just wasted time. So I figured, why not just take it out. I did find another boost leak. One of these vacuum lines that go to the actual boost control valve over here was actually, it was like kind of torn, and I just kind of tore the rest off. So that's not going to cause the engine to stall when I put the clutch in, though. At least it shouldn't, but that probably explains why I was losing some boost at some point. I thought I checked that, and I think when I smoke tested some of it, I did see some smoke coming over here. I just figured it was something else. I didn't realize it was a stupid vacuum line underneath in there. You probably can't see it, can't tell. But anyways, yeah, so all I'm doing now is, like I said, labeling. I also need to take apart the inside where the passenger carpet is. I got to pull this out for the harness, because apparently this harness has to come out. I then need to take off the belt, and then what's it called, start taking off the power steering and draining all that stuff, which I have a pump so I can suck all this out, but there's going to be a lot of fluid coming out from the pump itself. So I'm kind of like, all right. I did see somewhere online that I had to take off the AC compressor, or I have to drain something with the AC, which, but for now, I'm going to start taking apart the inside where the carpet is, so I could take out the wiring harness and stuff. Alright, so I'm going to start by peeling this up. This is the trim. It's going to allow me to access over here. That wasn't supposed to pop out like that, but I am missing a clip, and you can see right here in the back of these little things kind of popped out already, but it's okay. There is a screw up here, so just be really mindful. There's supposed to be a screw back here, which I'm gonna have to replace that. I don't know why that's missing, but you see what I mean right there. But anyways, I'm gonna set this somewhere. I should be better prepped for this stuff, but I'm not, whatever. And then you can see where the wiring is back there. Alright, so these are 10, they're just 2 bolts in the bottom, and it exposes ECU. So then, oh, let's see. Yeah, I know, I have little boost control, or boost control, or whatever. Not boost controller, boost kit. I can't say it. But yeah, it's back there, and I gotta disconnect all of this stuff. This was pretty much wired in, and this is not from the previous owner. You can see this going back here. You don't have to do this probably. You probably have something else that's better than this, but you got a fat, thick old freaking vacuum light that goes into the boost controller. And yeah, so I gotta figure out if I should just take that all out, because I am gonna probably be swapping that out just to do a manual boost controller, because I don't like this boost controller. It's kind of a pain in the ass to work with, and I know how to play with the controls. It's just a pain in the butt though. It's just too time consuming to me. I feel like I'd rather just get a dial and just play with the dial and go with there, instead of having to constantly go into the stupid settings on it. So all I'm doing is I'm just trying to make sure where everything's at, and I'm gonna have to actually, all right, so same thing, the harness that goes along the firewall, that is 10 millimeter, sorry. And this is gonna be a kind of a pain in the butt to get this up, because this little bracket kind of turns, I guess. So I got was like a screwdriver. I just kind of touched it, like the bracket, whatever that is, and just held there while I just use my little ratchet to get that off. Just double checking more other areas. You can see there's just a lot of shit to go through on this. Okay, so you don't really have to pull from the ECU to take it out. That's my bad. That's what I'm reading. Pretty much everyone's doing it, but it's actually the safer to do that because you can really mess things up. And yeah, I just talked to someone right now because I was curious, like, do you really have to pull everything out from the ECU? Like, I just can't get away with just taking all this stuff off. And the reason why I was curious because there is more stuff back here, so I wasn't entirely sure. But he was telling me, no, you don't. But he kind of messed up his harness by doing what I was gonna do and just disconnect everything. So he said, you know, it's easier just to pull everything out from the ECU, out from here and all that stuff. So that's what I'm gonna do. Your charcoal canister bolts, they're 10, obviously. A lot of this stuff is 10s and 12s and whatever. So what I like to do is I'm just gonna put this back on here, the bolts, because I don't want to lose them. And either way, I might be getting rid of this charcoal canister because I'm gonna be going single turbo, and I don't think I need this once I do single turbo. I might just put like a cash can or something over here. And yeah, so those look like those be a 10 too. Let me see. Yeah, that's a 10. So those are a 10. Now the only thing I'm worried about is rodents and stuff getting in here because the car is outside. I don't have a garage of my own, so I'm gonna have to figure out what I need to do with that. Oh yeah, there's another 10 up here. I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm gonna need to do to plug it up. I'll probably just use a bunch of tape and other stuff. But anyways, I'm gonna try my best to show you guys everything I'm doing and the mistakes that I do. That way you don't have to do the same mistakes and have a headache when doing this stuff. You guys can just learn through my mistakes and stuff. Keep in mind, you are gonna break some connectors. Like that's new because I just replaced that. But on this side, luckily I haven't broken anything just yet. I mean, I did break some of these, which I already replaced these pigtails. But like over here, I didn't really crack anything. I heard one cracking, but just keep in mind you probably will break one of them. You can still order those off eBay or Toyota or whatever and just repin and put the new housing on. So yeah, sorry, I'm still like just trying to work and do this at the same time. So give me a quick moment. All right, so I wish someone would have told me this, but this to get this clip out right here, or this plug, it's kind of stupid, but this top white piece, let me set the camera up right here, hang on. Probably not able to see, let me just put it close. So see that top part of the white, it pretty much, you probably can see that. You got to like pretty much pry up on this part. So I was like pulling back and forth on the orange of the clip right here because I was thinking, okay, you know, so once that comes back, you can see what it hooks on into. Get that to focus. You probably can see it. This part pretty much is what holds the clip in. So you push this back up and it'll come up, and then you can be able to pull this out. I was just going back and forth with this, like trying to figure out why the hell isn't it coming out, and yeah. So anyways, here's all of the wiring. Here is the boost cut controller. This is for BPU and stuff, like if you're twins and stuff, and stock ECU. This is that's pretty much what I use. So now pretty much out of light. I might call it a night because it's just down here plugging some wiring and stuff. I might call it a day. I did move this over to traction control, or throttle. Yeah, it's the throttle control. I moved this over and it's still a 10. I moved it over so I can like get this access to this more, because you can see these two plug up over here. One goes underneath here. There's the other plug. It's underneath this harness. it goes over here, and then this white one comes up around over here. You see that white one goes there, and the other one goes back a little ways over here. So yeah, this is where I'm at right now. Pretty much, like I said, I'm just trying to get this thing ready to go so I could pull this engine and finally figure out if, you know, whatever. I keep repeating myself, I gotta stop. All right, so I'm back now, and I'm gonna take off the power steering stuff and drain all of that. In fact, I'm probably just gonna suck it out from here with the little thing I have to take out fluids and stuff, and then just let it all drain out from here. I have the drain pan underneath there, and I think well, I need to take out the bottom of the bottom of the intercooler pipe. I gotta take all that out because if the engine comes out and it swings or whatever, I don't want to break this pipe. Even though I have a metal pipe already, all that stuff for the intercooler, I don't want to damage my original parts, just in case I ever want this car to go back to original and all that stuff. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do for now. I feel like I got all the wiring almost. I know I need to get that fuel line, which I think I need to get the ground cable that's connected to the body somewhere, or chassis. I gotta figure where that's at. And then the next thing I'll do is take off this belt and start trying to take off the air compressor or AC compressor. And how I'm gonna do that is, there's studs. I've been talking to a few people that have this car, and some were saying you can't take it off. You have to like have it, the whole system evaporated and all that stuff, and you just disconnect the lines. But other people are saying you can take it off. It's just you have to remove the studs to hold it on. So what I'm gonna do is remove the studs off of this, and then later on replace those with bolts, so it's easier later on. And I'll get those sizes when I get to that part. So I ended up buying this off the tool truck, and the only reason why I got it is because it's blue. I had to. Blue is my favorite color, if you haven't noticed. And so yeah, I'm gonna be using this finally. I bought it a while ago and then never really used it, but now I'm going to. Anyways, here it is. You guys can pick one up off of Amazon, or you can go to Harbor Freight and get that one. And they have one that's pretty cheap. It's like 15 bucks. This was like 18 bucks, I believe. But yeah, so I'm gonna start taking out the fluids in here. Hey, you can see it. I'm just going right here, pretty much just getting these. I do need to figure out how to unplug right here, because this is part of the harness, and I'm taking the whole harness out because it's easier that way. You know what, I should have just took out this. I was like, whatever, I still can. You know what, I think I'm gonna do that. Watch now. Screw it. So that's good. I'm gonna go on the bottom right here. I don't know if I can get you guys to see that. Hopefully it is. But I'm gonna go right here, grab these two, and then I'm gonna take it off from this hose. Just pull it off, and that should be okay. I shouldn't have to do anything else. But let me go under. By the way, the socket size is a 10. And that size for the actual intake pipe, that's a bigger size, which I gotta get, but bear with me here, hang on. If you're like me, start using the, like, if you buy tools and don't use them, just start using them. Yeah, I know. But I bought this for work, and I have yet to use it at work. So just gonna stick this somewhere, and I'm gonna put all the bolts that I take out in it. At the end of taking all my bolts out, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be bagging them like this right here. I'm gonna bag it. Let me actually write on this. This is the firewall harness bolts. so that way I know exactly where it goes. And yeah, I just don't want to lose them. Obviously that's going to be intercooler bolts for the bottom and all that. Okay, so I was wrong. It is a 10 for the bottom bolts of the intercooler piping. They are 10, and just be careful because mine's got oil in it or some oil buildup in it. So I had to take it out from here, which this is going to come out now, and wiggle this out. That is disgusting. Look how nasty all this stuff is. So I'll figure out where to put it. And then I took this out already, so now this should be all right. I don't know, these are kind of held in place and they seem to be the same size. So what I'm going to do, just to be on a safe measure, I'm just going to take these bolts out and put them on there because I'm going to be having this out somewhere and I'd rather not lose the bolts. So this is off. What I'm gonna do is put this pretty much, now I got that connection off over here. I don't think you guys saw that. So I took off the ground cable, or ground to the chassis off. I'm just gonna feed this back on there because I don't wanna lose it. And then next thing I'm gonna do is, now that all of this stuff is off, I still need to figure out this harness thing. Where am I gonna pull this out of? Like, because it goes up to, this goes up to like right here. And you know what? I might be able to take it off actually from right here. And I'm gonna change these too. I'm gonna get new ones because this thing is old. So this is off, this is disconnected. Now this is free. Feed that through. So cool, this is free. So now my next thing is I need to, I guess, start unbolting this, and yeah, that's loose, that's loose. I think I could just take this power steering pump off with it. Now I have to take off the AC compressor. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually just gonna take off the serpentine belt and then I guess go from there. So let me put you guys on pause here, get my tools. So for the belt tensioner, the size is a 14. And I'm gonna take this off because I need to get the belt off. That's all I need to do. So when your belt's off, I mean, obviously you gotta inspect it and stuff, and this one's pretty bad. It's alright. Which, the back's not too bad, but when you look over here, it's pretty cracked. Yeah, I mean, it's normal. But yeah, still gonna change it. Okay, so now that's out. The next thing now I gotta worry about is doing this AC compressor, which I gotta figure out exactly what I need to get on it. There is a clip behind there that's for the power and stuff. You're gonna have to disconnect that, but just give me a minute, let me figure this out. Alright, so for now, I can't really see a lot of stuff that's holding on. This is a 14, this bolt right here. I don't know if you guys can see that, probably not. Yeah, right there, this bolt is a 14. So I'm gonna go off from there. You're gonna need like an impact or breaker bar or maybe a ratchet. But I'm just using this because I have my tools. All right, so my camera died. So what I had to do is I pretty much just took off this hose. I'm not done yet, but I'm just giving you an example of what I did. Took off the hose so I can get in there. You can see clearly there's that white plug right in there. See if I can zoom in, but there's that white plug there. And there's the inverted Torx or stud. See if I get this damn thing. You could kind of see it straight in there. I should get like a freaking thing to point in there, but I need to go buy that tool. I don't have that socket, unfortunately, so I need to buy that. I thought I had it. I might have lost it, whatever. But you can get them at Harbor Freight. They come in a pack. So there's that one, and I'm not sure if that is one. Might be. I'm gonna take it off anyways because there's a lot of stuff that's got to come out. Because I don't want to. I really don't want to have the system evaporated, or what's it called, vacuumed, and I don't want this to go in the atmosphere. So I'm doing what I can to get this off. I'm pretty sure I could just take off. You know what? I'm thinking about it. Hang on. I don't think I could. I have to take off this banjo bolt for the power steering pump. So this has to come off. When I'm looking at it, I'm thinking about it, because here's this hard line that's going to run down here, and I think it runs. Scratch that. You know what? I'm just going to take this off. I was saying I don't know if I should, but I think I'm going to. I think this runs all the way down and it comes back or something like that, and it runs somewhere. You know what? Let's follow it. So here's this line. Let's go down here. Don't mind the mess. There it goes. Where the hell did it go? Oh, right here. So it goes up here. Does some kind of loop. Goes back. Yep, so that's got to come off because it goes to the steering rack. So yeah, that's got to come off. And then I forgot to mention, underneath here where the motor is, where the steering rack is and all that stuff, there's a few bolts that are actually to the block of the engine. Those have got to come off too. So a lot of little bolts here and there. That's a nice little chip that I did by accident. But yeah, there's just there's a lot of stuff, man, when it comes to pulling this damn engine. It's not, I'm used to old school stuff, not cars like this. Like, this is still new, even though it's a 97. It's still kind of new to me. I know it has a lot of freaking wires and vacuum lines, all this crap. But my goal is right now is I need just to get as much stuff as I can get done, and then I still need to, you know, buy a few more things. But anyways, let me get back to it. Let me start taking, I guess I'll take that banjo bolt off, let the system bleed out into here, and then I'll probably try my best to get those connections. I'll try my best to get these connections off as much as I can. And then I guess once that's done, I'll go run to the store or Harbor Freight and buy those Torx bits and start working at those. And then once I get the AC compressor to drop, then I take all the other bolts off. This engine should be ready to pull. So I'm pretty sure I got everything back here what I need to take off. If not, I'm gonna find out the hard way. Oh, you know what? I almost forgot. Heater core lines. Heater core lines gotta come off. All that has to disconnect. So I'm glad, yeah. So I'm going over everything. You guys gotta learn from my mistakes. So a lot of stuff. All right, so I was fighting with this thing for a little bit. Make sure you take off this vacuum line that goes to the bottom of the throttle body. And you can see I was fighting with this AC connection down here. It's this one right here. If there's like a clip you could pull off that goes, it looks like to the steering rack. It's just like a little white clip. Just pull that off. I try to get that off, and then you can pull the clip out or the connection out, because doing that is just a pain in the butt. I've been fighting with that for a while. I did take off the bolt that was in, on the AC compressor. I don't think you could see it, but the AC compressor doesn't want to move, and I think the stud is actually holding on. I thought it was just gonna go back and forth on the stud, but it's not. So I think I'm gonna have to go to the store now and pick up that tool. And then I still gotta get the bolts on the bottom, the steering rack or hydraulic lines, whatever, they go to the bottom of the block, and you'll see that. And then I still gotta get those. But yeah, I've been fighting with this thing for a little bit, and let's see, maybe 40 minutes. They're not 40 minutes, maybe 30 minutes I've been fighting with it. But you can see pretty much everything else has been disconnected. I don't know if I recorded, but I took off the power steering pump and I just laid it down on the actual catch can or oil pan, whatever. So yeah, it's just you're just really crammed in here. This, I mean, hopefully if you have smaller hands than me, then you'll be able to knock this out pretty much like easy. Yeah, the next big thing, AC compressor off of the engine, so I can, you know, let that be that. Sorry guys, it's hard to record. I got off work a little bit later, not too much, but you know, I have kids and all. So this is where I'm at. I'm gonna, you know, see what I could do. And then I did label the bolts because some bolts are longer than others. So I just, like, you know what I mean? You want to label it where you get it from. So like I pulled one of the bolts off of the front, that's kind of long. There's another one that's a little bit longer on the bottom. So you want to make sure you could do that. And then you can go from there.